folks! Wow, I haven't said that in a while. Today is kind of a different video because I'm going to share like a common phenomenon that I have seen across the internet. Since we are all in quarantine and at home right now, people have been coming up with different things to do while you're in your house by yourself or not. A lot of people suggest learning a new skill. What I've discovered is that people are more active on online courses platforms. For example, like edX, Coursera, Masterclass, and Skillshare. All these platforms have been gaining so much popularity, and especially Masterclass, where they invite all the literal best, most well-known people to teach you what they do and how they do it. I am a part of this. Like, I have been taking some online courses here and there. I just want to share my own personal experience and opinion about these online courses platforms. A little bit of a background information. These websites, essentially, they are online courses provided by real universities, taught by real professors. For the few courses that I have taken, the mode is usually you watch a video and then there's a transcript, and then sometimes you answer some questions right after you watch a video on a certain topic. And sometimes they also give you like a quiz after each lesson, which I think is quite beneficial. There are also additional readings right below the videos, like included in the course, or they link you to some external sources like newspaper articles, YouTube videos, all that. So it's very multimedia teaching, but you don't see the professor in person and they don't see you in person. Before we start, let me just do a quick rundown of what courses that I've been taking. So I'm mainly on two platforms, edX and Coursera, and on edX I've been taking the opera course, which is offered by Harvard X, their own online course program, and it is focusing on 18th century opera that is mainly produced by Handel and Mozart. And another course that I was taking is Storytelling for Social Change, organized by University of Michigan, and then also Fairy Tales 101, organized by the Newcastle University in Australia. So these are the three courses that I've been taking on edX, and on Coursera I'm taking Financial Markets, that is offered by Yale University. If you can't tell from this selection, I've specifically selected courses from very top universities because obviously at my level I can't get into those universities, and these online platforms provide a very good opportunity for you to just experience how those universities teach their student, a taste of what it is like to be an Ivy League student, and also mend the damage of being the disgrace of the family. So there are a few points that I want to talk about right now, and the first of all is how effective is learning online. Now, of course, it varies person to person, but I'm only going to focus on the actual quality of the courses. I think they are very well planned out because, of course, it's online, it's very systematic, and they have plenty of time to prepare it to be a systematic way. Most of them are self-paced, but because they're so planned out, you can select however quick you want to learn or however slow you want to learn, which is very beneficial for a student like me, especially because I have no concentration at all. And also, most of them are taught by very good professors. Like, just looking at the video, you can tell that they are very good scholars in their field. However, I feel like they might not be very comfortable with the camera most of the time, so they sometimes stutter, and also you can catch them just looking at the script given, which is funny, but that does not really affect the quality of their teaching. However, the problem is, because it is online through a screen, you don't get to interact with students or the professor, of course. They also have discussion platforms, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. You don't get the classroom dynamic, which I love. I'm an English student and we have to talk a lot in class and sort of interact with different students and the professor. It does feel a little lonely just sitting in your room looking at the computer and listening to whatever the professor is saying. Another difficulty is that you don't see the professor in person, obviously, so you cannot actually ask them questions in real life. Of course, you can post your question on the discussion forum, and I think there is an actual university staff that would go into the discussion forum and answer different people's questions, but that's not the professor who you would want to ask questions with right? And also you don't get to establish necessary connections between professor and you and also your fellow classmates. And I think connections is a big part in university, to get to know people in your field before you even get into the industry and just develop interhuman relationships. That's what I think university is for, besides learning actual knowledge. However, it really depends on people, because some people, they don't like the classroom dynamic, or some courses they don't require any classroom dynamic at all. Take what you want. If you like to learn individually without distraction of other people or other elements, then online courses could be a very good option. Another problem with online courses is that the resources that you get is quite limited or too much. So it goes both ways, because of course they will provide you with the resources that they think is relevant to the course, but because there are so many resources online, they tend to provide you with more than you actually need. So it's a large variety, of course, and you get to learn more, but then it's not exactly very focused, and sometimes you do catch some resources that is not the most relevant. And another thing, because it's virtual learning essentially, that you don't have a school library. Say you want to focus on a specific topic that you have learned on an online course, but then you don't have the school library that will provide you with academically or scholastically focused papers or books or whatever, compared to a public library, which you would eventually need to go to because you don't have a school library. Another thing about learning through a computer is you get distracted very easily. Now, I am the exact type of person that does this. I can't concentrate in anything at all, especially when you're learning alone. There's no peer pressure, and you can just, if you want, you can just go on to other parts of the internet except your course. You do need a lot of self-discipline when you're taking online courses. You literally have to force yourself to sit there for like an hour or two, taking notes, listening to the videos, joining online forums, and that's how you get the most out of an online course. However, it has been a little hard for me because I just can't concentrate, and I have a little kitty that would distract me from everything that I do. I'll have to work on that. Another funny thing that I've observed about online courses is that universities tend to use them as marketing strategies. For instance, they have very well produced videos, and you can just see how much effort they put into the studio that they use, and also just the whole production is very well done, which is great for learning. And they also invite a lot of guests into the online lectures so that you can learn from people that is actually in the industry of the course that you're learning and know what you're getting yourself into. Now, of course, the drawback is you cannot talk to these professionals in person, which pulls back from the learning experience just a little bit. However, it is still great to listen to what they do and how they do it so well. So I'm not saying that using these online platforms as a marketing gig is not good. However, it's kind of obvious. It's just an observation, nothing else. Another question that online courses would cause is, should they exist and replace university? Well, the answer is absolutely no, because as I've mentioned already, the class dynamic, you really don't get that in online course, and I feel like the class dynamic is what makes you really learn, because you learn from each other and you try to explain yourself, and which is a form of teaching, and you learn the most when you're teaching. No, definitely not going to replace university anytime soon. However, I think it is a great supplementary source if you think your program is not fulfilling all of your learning desires. For me, I study English. However, my English program does not provide a lot of theater-related classes, which I think drama and theater is like a very essential part of English. If you don't know already, William Shakespeare writes his plays in English. Because I want to learn more about theater and my university program is not giving me that, then I can go on to these online courses that most of the time are free as a supplementary to the degree that I'm already pursuing, which I think is a great option if you have just endless curiosity and you want to explore more in the field, but your program might not allow you to do so. Speaking of free, most online courses can be free. However, you do need to pay a certain amount to get like a course certificate, which I really don't find a point because I don't feel like those certificates would be a good representation of what you have learned. I'm not sure about this, but I don't think these are plausible identifications of how well you have done in a course. It's a different type of qualification, of course, but if I am an employer and I see that you get the certificates from an online course, I would be skeptical because it's online learning. Nobody is monitoring how you're learning. And to be honest, because these online platforms are so open to everyone, most of the courses that they provided are not that advanced. If you want to take more advanced courses, of course you can, you just have to pay more. However, the certificates that you get from it might not be convincing people that you take this course seriously and you did well. To be honest, this is only my opinion and I don't know. Maybe people are changing their minds, maybe people are starting to accept them, but how to say it without being offensive? It's just not the best thing you can do besides taking an actual physical real-life course. Another good thing about these online courses is that not only is it supplementary to the original program that you might be taking, but it also allows you to venture out to some other classes that you might not be able to join. For example, if I want to take a class about financial markets, but I'm studying in a humanities degree, which is English, there are certain boundaries where you can't cross. So you just can't simply register for business class if you're in a humanities degree. The online course allows you to break through that barrier and learn whatever you want, which I find is very beneficial. Well, that's what I believe. You will need to learn different things from different sectors of the society as a whole, which is not possible to learn all, but at least you need to know some. That's what I use these online platforms for, to just learn things that I am interested in, but my degree may not allow me to venture into. Before we end this video, I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks as to how to make the most out of your online courses. Point number one, finish the course. This is the most simple thing you can do. Finish the course. A lot of them do have an access deadline, so you can register on one date and then after a certain date, maybe it's like a month or two, you don't have access to the course anymore. It does push you to like go through the course as quickly as you can and as regularly as you can. So do finish the course or else it's just a waste of time. However, before you choose a course, there are also some things you need to note. Look at the duration of the course and make sure you can spend enough time. Again, if you can't spare the time that this course requires you to, then you better not sign up for that. A lot of times the course will tell you like how many hours you're gonna spend in 1 week and also the length of the videos, etc. So you do need to realize that it is still a commitment, although you're not going to an actual classroom, and be mindful that a lot of courses do vary in level. So be sure to look at the syllabus before you choose a course. For me, I have chosen a course that is not exactly my level, which makes it very hard for me to just go through, but then I don't want to waste like signing up for it, because a lot of the times you can only sign up once, and after that deadline finishes, you can't sign up for the same course anymore. Make sure you have no regrets. Make sure you finish the course, look through the syllabus before you go in, know that it is your level and that you can commit enough time into this specific course. Another tip for those people who cannot concentrate like me is to get a notebook or whatever form of note-taking that you like. So let's say a 2-hour lecture is usually separated into a few videos of like 10 to 15 minutes, so as to get you like to concentrate, right? But those videos, most of the time, they are very condensed. They are packed full of information and goes very fast. So make sure you have some form of note-taking device or just pen and paper, and pause in between videos or pause during the video to take notes and try to note down what you want to remember. This also helps you concentrate in whatever you're learning, because you need to actively listen to what they're saying and you need to write it down. So having some things on hand to do will help you concentrate and prevent you from wandering off the abyss of the internet. I think that online learning is truly a very new direction to education. It opens up so much more doors to people who might not be able to physically go to school, and you only need internet and a computer to learn whatever you want to learn, which I think is very, very nice. However, there are also certain constraints which makes it not suitable for every single one of us. But you never know, maybe in the future they will make it more of a realistic experience than it is right now, and I think the opportunity that it gives to people is just endless, and the development of it is also endless. I hope that this video helps you to know a little bit more about online learning before you start or before you make any decision at all. Now, I'm not the most experienced in online courses, and I'm certainly not the best online course learner. I still have a lot to improve on, I still have a lot to learn, and there is so much on my list right now that I want to accomplish these courses. Yeah, that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions at all, or if you just want to raise any discussion, do comment down below and give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like this. Yeah, have fun learning. I guess I'll have to leave you here today. Bye!